So what's going on, guys? This is Taste. I'm bringing you another video here on the Endeavour gaming channel. It's really late at night, so if I seem quieter or my voice is weird, then I'm trying to be quiet so that I don't wake anyone up, because I kind of planned to do this a little bit earlier and then ended up playing LOL for ages and then got really traumatised because I started eating some chocolate that I'd had, and it's only been in my room like a day, but it's so warm that it was already in that sort of gooey mess where you don't bother breaking it into blocks anymore because it just bends, so you just get the great big bar of it and just scoff the whole thing through your mouth. Anyway, this video is featuring the gameplay from Danny here playing on Overflow. I think we've all decided it's Overflow. I think we had a good conversation in the chat box, and I'm pretty sure that was the conclusion we came to, and then I went through and looked at the submit your gameplay thread, which I've now closed and forgotten the name of. So, you know, you'll love this map because it took everyone ages to find out what it was, and by everyone I mean Monica, because she was the only one in the chat box at the time. But anyway, it's pretty decent gameplay, so I'll let you enjoy that while I talk about whistleblowers, basically. For anyone that doesn't know what a whistleblower is, it's basically somebody that is inside to a organisation or group or ideal of particular secrecy where things aren't supposed to be told about anything, and then they go ahead and they tell everyone, specifically the media. And in particular I want to talk about Ed Snowden, who is, he's been in the news a lot recently, and he was an American spy, and he found that, or knew all along, I can't quite remember, that the American government was, for quote-unquote security reasons, checking through emails and phone calls and everything like that, or just standard citizens in the United States. And he decided to tell it to the media, and then he had to flee to Hong Kong after it's a high-profile American agency here, which is nothing that I can remember at the moment. I can't remember which one it was. Some people are after him anyway, and he fled to Hong Kong. Then he fled over to Russia, and by this point the media had got hold of it, and he did something which was absolutely hilarious. He booked a flight from Moscow to Ecuador. I think it was somewhere in Ecuador. And he booked a flight there, and loads of journalists, I think there was something like 16 journalists, all paid last minute plane fares. And like, it's a good plane, like it's not a standard flight, so last minute plane fares aren't the sort of cheapest chips ones, so they get people on the plane because it doesn't cost them anything, the plane is going anyway. It's the sort of really expensive, you should have done this earlier price to get on this plane. 16-hour flight, he wasn't even on it. It was so good hearing about that. But yeah, he did that, and he's gone to Ecuador because the host of WikiLeaks, I forget his name now as well, god, I'm so unprepared. But yeah, the owner of WikiLeaks, he did the same. He was in Ecuador, or in the Ecuadorian, or whatever the Association of Ecuador word is, embassy. And basically they really like the sort of the privacy of people, and how the press can tell you if the government are doing weird things like that and all of that nonsense, so they're pretty much get freedom when they're there. They have a technical term for it everywhere in the papers and things like that, but I can't remember what it was. And I find it quite interesting, the views that came out of it. As with any sort of big media affair, you get this sort of two-sided views. And there were most people, from what I could gather, that sort of had the immediate reaction that everyone has. And it's a very angry reaction, because everyone loves getting angry at people. And it was, oh my god, I can't believe it, the government's looking through all of my stuff, this is my stuff, I have the right to have all of my stuff private, and you shouldn't really be looking at it, and all of this nonsense. And that was very much the reaction for a lot of it, which I can definitely see the point of, right? You don't really want people going through all your messages and things like that, but it's not exactly people you know, is it? It's not like your little brother's looking through all your phone, your texts and stuff like that, is it? Like, that would be completely different. It's the government doing it, it's not like it's the standard government, people doing it, it's like the big security agencies doing it. Like the people that are specifically there to go and find out terrorist threats and things like that. So if Joe Bloggs down the road is plotting to blow up your house, like, do you want people to just respect his privacy, or do you want people to find out that's coming up? Like, you've got to think of it through that way as well. And after a little while, people started seeing it through that way, or at least people started talking about how they saw it through that way, but there was still a very much minority. Wow, those words are so bad to mix up because they mean the opposite thing. No, minority of people are against whistleblowing. Or not necessarily against whistleblowing, because it's a very specific one. With the WikiLeaks stuff, I can't remember what WikiLeaks have done, but obviously like there's certain things where you've sort of like, I deserve to know that. Or not exactly like you deserve to know it, but that's alright to happen. You know, you're sort of telling me as though it's dreadful, and I don't think it is. So, like, in the case of the Snowden stuff, like, I don't know necessarily that it's dreadful that they're looking through all our stuff. Like, I'm kind of in favour of it. Like, if they want to go through all of our stuff to find out if we're terrorists or not, like, feel free. You know, if the police come to your house and go, hey, can we go through all your stuff to see if there's drugs in there? As long as they're not doing it on a regular basis and inconveniencing you by doing it, like, you know, does it really matter? But at the same time, I don't know that it's sort of okay to hide it from us. Like, if you're going to look through all of our stuff, like, tell us you're going to look through all of our stuff. But then, at the same time, when you tell that leaf, if you tell the terrorists where you're going to be looking for all the stuff, they're just not going to put it there, are they? By the way, we're looking through your phones. Oh yeah, I'll just phone up my bomb dealer. I don't know. A bomb dealer, that sounds so weird. Bomb salesman. I don't know. What are people that sell bombs called? What do you term those people? Don't comment if you know, because you'll probably get found and questioned and in a fair bit of trouble. Like, let's all pretend we don't know what it's called. But yeah, it's sort of like, you got to look at it from a different point. I don't really know what the answer would have been myself, otherwise I'd be in charge of this nonsense. I could go in them and tell them the whole things. I'm not a person that does that. I love members of the public that do, though. I do love people that will sit there and go, yeah, I know how to do everything, just put me in charge of the country, I'd fix it all. Oh, especially when they talk about something that I know about and they don't. I find it hilarious. Like, obviously I'm doing a degree in economics, so people that talk to me about economics and stuff like that and don't really know what they're talking about, I always find it hilarious when they try and, like, really start arguing to me. Like, they always drag in the politics of it, and I try and stay away from that. Like, I don't opinionate things like politics do, I just give out facts. Like, I know in all of my commentaries here I give out opinions and all of that, but I mean, I don't sort of go, I think this and it's right. I sort of go, that's my opinion, what's yours? And very much when people ask me for advice and things like that, instead of trying to tell them what to do, I just tell them what they can do and the probable consequences of each of their actions. And they go, you know, that's what I reckon is going to happen. Like, you choose what to do. I'm not going to tell you that bit. And that's basically what the difference between economics and politics is. Like, politics is sort of, this is what I think about that, this is what I think we should do, this is what we should do. I'm going to tell you what to do, and I'm going to tell you my opinion on everything. And economics is much more sort of, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Like, if you do certain things, if this happens, that'll happen. And you're going to have to deal with that. But I'm not going to tell you whether you should think that's worth it or not. You know, like, economics will sort of go through things like, if you go and spend all of this money into all of this, you're never going to have any money, and in 3 years' time the whole country's going to be screwed. But if you're okay with that, go ahead. And that's pretty much what happened. And then the politics of it goes in, and it goes, why has the government spent all of this money, and yada yada yada. And then everybody hates everybody because it's all, as opposed to actions that have been taken, it's people that have done things. So, I don't know. I don't like going through that way of arguing with things, but I find it really good in that sense when people try and argue their points with me, because it's quite obvious that they're very opinionated about something. And much as I am opinionated about things, when I argue I try and take it away. So I do love members of the public that decide they're going to throw opinions out. Sports fans are really good for it. Oh, sports fans. I love sports fans. They'll sit in the pub with their drinks and shout abuse at the players. But that is surprisingly the end of this commentary. I thought 10 minutes would be really hard to talk about, so feel free to leave comments below on your thoughts about things, and remember to rate it thumbs up or down as to whether you liked it. I'll see you in a bit.